Most fitness influencers that I see on YouTube and social media, they never talk about this stuff. These 6 things can be the main thing that's stopping you from making the progress you want. If you're trying to build muscle and bulk up, you have to be doing these 6 underrated steps first.
Got the team winning. B. Lewis Fitness, everybody lifting.
Hey guys, B. Lewis Fitness here, and today we're going to talk about 6 underrated steps that's going to help skinny guys become muscular and stronger. For those new to the channel, I've been a personal trainer and online coach for the last 10 years, helping skinny guys add lean muscle mass to their frame and put on 5 to 10 pounds of body weight. So if you've been struggling to bulk up and get bigger, I got you covered. Subscribe to my channel and I'll help you out every step of the way. Okay, let's get right into it. The first underrated step is knowing your why. This is absolutely the #1 thing you need to do before you even start your fitness journey. And if you just started your fitness journey, you really need to hone in on this. Why are you trying to get bigger? Why are you trying to build muscle? How is that going to change your life? These are the types of questions you need to ask yourself. Yes, of course you want to get bigger and stronger, but why do you want to put yourself through the ups and downs of fitness and how painful it can be to have your muscles burning during a workout? Why do you even want to do that? Now, if you're like how I was in high school, where I was self-conscious about how skinny I was, how little muscle I had, and how weak I felt, going into a gym or being in any public setting, I just felt really weak. My why was I never wanted to feel like that again. I wanted people to be able to tell that I could work out while I'm wearing regular clothes. If I went to a pool or a beach, I wanted to be able to take my shirt off and felt like I didn't stand out for being the skinny guy that's on the beach. It was a tough thing I had to admit to myself, but it really helped me hone in on my reason why. And that has carried me through all the way up until this point to be consistent with my fitness journey because I know why I'm doing it. So when things get tough, I can hone back in on this is why you're doing it. You're not doing it because of reasons that don't really matter. You're doing it because of this one thing. It was a tough thing I had to admit to myself, but my reason why is because I didn't like the way that my body looked. And that was enough for me to stay consistent all the way up until this point today to keep working out really hard, training properly, eating properly. But it all comes from the reason why I started. If I didn't have a good reason why I started, I would not continue up until this point. When things get tough, I would just fall off. But once I honed in on that why, everything took off as far as my progress. So if you're like most guys, one of the main reasons that we start working out is because we want to attract girls. We want to get girls to like us, and we think that being more muscular, being bigger, being stronger is what's going to get girls to like us. Now, that can be a great reason to get you started. But the way it works for a lot of people is when they get into their, let's say, mid-30s, let's say they get married, then they stop working out. You already got the girl, and your whole reason for working out was to get the girl. So once you do, you stop working out. Now you're back to being weaker and smaller than you want to be. So I suggest you can have that reason of trying to get girls, but try to have some really deep emotional connection that's just for you, for why you want to work out and why you want to build more muscle and get bigger. And then that can last you for a lifetime, so nothing can take you off of that path to getting bigger. And that's the true power of finding your why. If you know why you're doing this, you'll never need motivation again because you can always think about that why. Your reason why will always be stronger than any outside sources that try to stop your journey. The second underrated step is setting a timeline. How much time are you willing to invest into your health and fitness? How quickly would you want to achieve your goal? These are all things that you need to know going into it so that you don't get disappointed by your results. Using myself as an example again, when I was 16 years old, I was 5'9", 145 pounds. When I was 17 years old, I was 6'3", 145 pounds. So I knew that when I started my fitness journey, I wanted to get to about 180, 190 pounds. Now that's something that obviously it's going to take a very long time. But if I did not go into it with the right mindset of setting a timeline of I need to work really hard for at least 2 to 3 years straight with no breaks, that's going to be the only way I can reach that goal. If I did not have that mindset, I would have been disappointed and quit before I actually got to the point where I wanted to be. Where a lot of people go wrong is they have no idea of a timeline of how long it should take. So they try to do something, and if in 2 months they don't have that result, they stop. And really in 2 months, you can achieve great results, but that's only if you're all in. And most people are not all in. So you want to go into it with the right mindset of how long should this actually take if I give it my all? How long would this take if I am not doing everything I need to reach that goal? And that's going to be a crucial thing to help you stay on task so you know what goals you need to hit every single month and every single year to get you to that ultimate goal. So when you're setting that timeline, think about your life as a whole. How much do you work? How many other priorities are taking over your life outside of the gym? Do you have kids? All of these things are going to go into that timeline. If everything is lined up where you can only focus on you, you can achieve that result faster. If you have other things that can potentially take your efforts away from the gym, you want to set that timeline a little bit further out. It doesn't mean it's impossible, but you shouldn't expect the results you see of someone on social media who is, let's say, 20 years old, college student, no girlfriend, no kids, barely have any homework. They're probably going to get results faster than you if you have everything else going on in your life. So just keep that in mind when you're setting your timeline, because it does matter. The third underrated step is having accountability with someone else. Who is your go-to person when you're feeling down on yourself and feeling like you're not making progress? Who do you talk to that can help give you that motivation and pep you up to get right back into what you need to do? Do you have someone? This is something you should think about before you start a fitness journey or at the early stages, because it's gonna pop up. Now, can you get great results by yourself forever? Yes, but most people can't do that. Most people love being around other people and having that support system. And I highly suggest you try to find who's gonna be that one person or persons that is gonna be there for you. This can come from family. This can be a significant other. This can be a random person at the gym that always works out at the same time you do. This can be a personal trainer. There are many other avenues to find someone that can hold you accountable. Honestly, sometimes just having someone at the gym with you, watching you, helps you stop from being lazy and get to the work. Let's say you're working legs. You could do a set of 10 with squats by yourself, but if someone's watching you, you may get 12. You may be willing to try those extra 2 reps just so they don't think you're slacking, or you can have someone spot you, and that allows you to get more reps in. And that over a long time frame leads to way better results. So it's very beneficial to have that accountability partner in the gym and even outside of the gym. So decide who in your life you can trust that's gonna help keep you accountable to your word and what you say you're gonna do with your fitness and with your nutrition. And that's gonna be guaranteed to get you way better progress than trying to do it all by yourself. The fourth step that is gonna help you build more muscle is setting a SMART goal. SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time sensitive. I want to break down each point so you know exactly what that means as far as you and setting your own goals. A specific goal means you are setting a goal for one thing that you want to achieve, and that it is very obvious what that one thing is. For example, I want to build muscle. It's not a good specific goal. How much muscle? Where do you want to build that muscle? There are so many other things that go into building muscle. How do you know that you're getting closer? A good example of a specific goal is I want to gain 5 pounds of muscle. This is good because we know the number 5 is something that is easily identifiable, that this is what we're trying to do. If you gain 4 pounds, we know you're not at the goal. If you gain 10 pounds, we know you surpassed the goal. That's what makes it a good specific goal. A measurable goal is something that you can track over time to see if you're getting closer. An example of a bad goal is I want to get stronger. This is bad because how much stronger? What does stronger mean? You want to get stronger in your legs? How much stronger? How much weight means stronger? Does 1 pound mean stronger? Or does 300 pounds mean stronger? An example of a good measurable goal is I want to go from 135 pounds for 5 reps on the bench press to 155 pounds for 5 reps on the bench press. This is a good measurable goal because we can see how much closer to 155 you are compared to 135. Now we know if you're on track. An achievable goal means something that is actually possible based on your genetics and your circumstances in your life and what you have going on. For example, let's say you work 70 hours a week at a factory and you have 5 kids. Having a goal of I want to gain 30 pounds in a year of just pure muscle, that's a terrible goal. The reason being, all those kids, all those hours of work, that's going to completely take away from you being able to build muscle. In addition to that, gaining 30 pounds of muscle in 1 year is pretty much impossible unless you are taking enhancements. So if you are a natural lifter, that would be a bad goal. An example of an achievable goal is I want to gain 1 pound per week for 3 months straight. That will put you at gaining 12 pounds over a 3-month span. Now, gaining 1 pound a week is the equivalent of gaining 0.15 pounds per day. And that is something that everyone can achieve, even with just a little bit of consistency. And that would be a good goal. A relevant goal is something that makes sense for what your desired outcome is. An example of a goal that's not relevant is saying something like, I want to have a 6-pack, but also gain an additional 20 pounds. This is not a good goal because the way that you need to eat to get a 6-pack is eating in a calorie deficit, and the way that you need to eat to gain weight, 20 pounds, is eating in a large calorie surplus. These two things don't mesh well, so that would be a bad goal. An example of a good relevant goal is I want to gain 20 pounds while also going up 50 pounds on my squat and deadlift. This can work as a good goal because eating in a calorie surplus and training hard is a great way to build muscle and strength. So both of those things make sense together. An example of a time-sensitive goal is something that has a start date and an end date. An example of a bad goal is saying that I want to go up 300 pounds on my squat. That is a bad goal because we have no idea how quickly you want to achieve that. Is that something you were looking to do in 3 months, in 6 months, in 3 years? You want to put a time to it so you know how much you need to go up every single month. And again, you're way more likely to reach that goal. So an example of a good goal is I want to go up 300 pounds on my squat over the next 5 years. So by the end of that 5 years, you should be guaranteed to hit that number. Now, some people may be able to hit that quicker than others, but that is something that for sure has an end date. So you're not just in perpetuity working out and have no idea if you're getting closer or not, and no idea if you're on track for what you're trying to achieve. So guys, if you reach this point in the video and you're unsure about what your fitness goals should be, I got something that can help you out. I have a questionnaire that's going to show you whether you should bulk, cut, or maintain your current weight based on what your goal is. After you fill out that questionnaire, I'm going to send you a free 30-day workout plan that's in line with what that goal is, and also a nutritional plan based on the amount of calories that you probably would need in order to reach that goal. So if you want that, you can click the link that's in the description box, and you should see that link to take you to that quiz. Now let's get on to the next underrated step. Number 5 is picking a location for your training. Where you decide to do your training has a huge impact on the amount of muscle that you can build and how consistent you're going to be. This is because different places of training have different styles that they do, different equipment, different support systems, different types of people that work out, and just a different overall vibe to where you're going to get that work done. So just to give you some examples, here are some different places that you can train in order to try to build more muscle. The first is doing home workouts. Working out from home can be extremely convenient. You can just roll out of bed, and in 2 minutes, you can have access to anything that's in your house that can help you work out. So you really don't have to worry about how much time it takes to get to and from the gym. You can do it all right there from home. The pros is that it's no travel time, it's convenient, and you're gonna have 24/7 access. The cons is that you have to buy all the equipment yourself. You're not gonna see anyone else that's gonna help get you that motivation that you can get from seeing someone that's very strong. You're not gonna have a spotter, and you may have other distractions like TV, work, kids, pets that are gonna pop up and interfere with your workout. The second place you can work out is outdoors. This can be a great way to get some sunshine and some fresh air to help brighten up your day. You could do things like running, calisthenics, bring your TRX bands with you, dumbbells with you, and do a lot of circuit type workouts outdoors. The pros of that, you're gonna get to enjoy fresh air, you're gonna have 24/7 access, and it's free. The cons are that you need to have a trail or a park nearby. It's hard to do workouts when it's dark, and also if it's raining or snowing, it's gonna be tough for you to get the workout in. The next place you can do your training is specialty gyms. This includes things like CrossFit gyms, powerlifting gyms, and bodybuilding gyms. What makes these gyms special is that everyone there has the same or similar goals, which means you're gonna be in an environment where people are gonna be beginners and experts. So wherever you are in that journey, you're gonna have someone that is a little bit ahead of you that you can learn from, and then you're gonna have people that are behind you that you can help teach, and that can be rewarding in itself. The pros here is that you're gonna have niche training doing exactly what you like to do in the gym. You're gonna have people more advanced than you that can show you the way, and also a supportive community for people that like similar things to you. The cons here is usually gym hours are not gonna be ideal for a lot of people. It's usually gonna cost a little bit more money, and also you're gonna be focused on one singular location of training. The next place you can train, which is also the most common, is commercial gyms. This includes gyms like Vasa Fitness, Planet Fitness, LA Fitness, Lifetime Fitness, places like that. The pros here are that these gyms usually have multiple locations. You'll also have a very cheap membership compared to other gyms. Usually it's 24/7 access or very friendly hours for most people. And you'll also get that social aspect of being around a lot of people at one time. The cons here is that it's usually very long wait times if you go to the gym at the wrong time. For most gyms, 5 to 7 a.m. and 5 to 7 p.m., especially on Monday, it's gonna be very hard to get on any equipment. So you can have long wait times. So if that's something that is not for you, just keep that in mind. Another thing is after getting a tour of the gym, usually there is very little assistance from the people that work at the gym. So if you don't know what you're doing, nobody there really will help you out or look to help you out. And then also usually the strategy of commercial gyms is to get as many people signed up and as many people not using the gym as possible. So just keep that in mind. The final type of place you can work out is a boutique gym. These are things like personal training studios, Orange Theory Fitness, and bar studios. These are one of the fastest growing settings to work out because they offer high-end services and give you that intimate feel. Some of the pros can be getting an intimate setting where you feel like you're getting one-on-one attention even though you're in a group setting. And also you feel like you're a very high valued client. Some of the cons can be, this is probably the most expensive way to work out. You have to schedule your hours and sometimes that doesn't work for your schedule. The sixth underrated step to building muscle is setting a start date. I'm sure that seems super simple, but think about it. When you started your fitness journey, or if you haven't started yet, when are you gonna start? Why didn't you start yesterday? It's probably because you didn't set yesterday as the start date. So I want you to think about this going forward. You can have all the knowledge from YouTube videos of how to do certain exercises, watch all the motivational YouTube videos to get you pumped up, but none of that matters if you don't actually start. So we need to focus on this point. When are you gonna start and take it seriously? We're talking about you having more confidence in your body, being able to talk to girls and feel better about it, feeling better about taking your shirt off at the beach. You have to start. I suggest you pick a start date that is revolved around when your schedule is the busiest. I know this seems backwards that you want to start when the schedule is the easiest, but the way I like to teach people is, let's say you work 70 plus hours a week, you have kids that have things going on. When in your schedule will be the toughest time to do this? And how many days per week could you work out when everything is the toughest? Now, if that's only 1 day per week, fine. But if you schedule around that 1 day of the week where you have your time when it's the toughest in your schedule, everything else will seem easier. So if you get that 1 day in and now everything clears up with your work, it's easy to add in 2 or 3 extra days because now you're used to it being tough and it's just gonna make everything seem so much easier. So look at your schedule, think about it as far as when is my schedule gonna really ramp up? If that's coming up soon, perfect. Try to find a start date in that time. If you don't have a tough schedule right now, then really you should be starting today. That's the best time. You wanna pick a time where it's really a little bit of a nuisance on your schedule. And that mindset of, I will get that workout in no matter how tough my schedule is, that's gonna carry over for a lifelong success in the fitness journey. Most people like to start on a Monday. I like people to start today. Most fitness influencers that I see on YouTube and social media, they never talk about this stuff. But these 6 things can be the main thing that's stopping you from making the progress you want. If you're trying to build muscle and bulk up, you have to be doing these 6 underrated steps first. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch this video here on how to grocery shop for building muscle. See you in the next video.